Right, so here on the bench we have the Brymen TBM867 professional multimeter. The box is quite nice. Like again, the Brymen is distributed by Titan in South Africa. It's quite a nice package, nothing too spectacular. The 869 and the 867 are very similar, with a few functionality differences, but it is well marked here that you know this is the 867. Gives you some of the features over here, such as the hanger storage, the tilting stand and hanger, the magnetic hanger, etc. And then of course here you have the spec of the meter, pretty much all the technical information here, which we'll go through and discuss as we go through the multimeter and what its specifications are, etc. Now, I haven't done very many multimeter reviews in a while, so please bear with me. This is one of the first ones in a little while, and we're going to see exactly what's inside the box, what you get with this meter, and what the quality is of the overall meter, the functionality set, the accuracy levels, etc. And we're going to just basically give it an overall look, see, and compare against some of the other multimeters which I have in use in my workshop. So let's get straight into the unboxing section of this review now. First thing we're going to do, we're going to open the box. So inside the box we have the packaging, and we have a little booklet and manual over here inside. Okay, so pretty much this is what comes in the packaging. You have this, which is your certificate, what would they call the certificate of conformity for the meter, including all specifications of that conformity and whether it conforms. Doesn't really say what it is, but as far as I know, the product above has been inspected and tested in accordance with the contract and purchase orders. So yeah, it's basically like a quality control for the manufacturer. Then we have the small little booklet, which is the user's manual for the TBM867 and 869, which goes in one. It's well written in English, so pretty much all your information is there. Because this was sold in the English market, it does come with an English booklet. On the back over here, some contact information, printed in Taiwan, etc., made in Taiwan, whatever the case may be. A little bit of an owner's manual. Then of course you have your meter, nicely sealed in plastic, and you have the leads. So the first thing we're going to look at is these leads. Now, Fluke obviously do make some very nice silicone leads, but I've noticed a trend from Brymen of late where they actually have a really decent quality lead. Sort of like a semi-gold plated terminal over here with these 1 kilovolt Cat 4 or 1000 volt Cat 4 caps which go on. Very nice feeling actually, a silicone sort of based cable. If I look inside over here, this isn't one of those split banana pin things. This is actually a proper one, so I don't foresee that wearing down too soon. And they do actually feel quite nice in the hand. Nothing to complain about there. And of course the multimeter itself comes in this sort of standard Brymen TBM series red rubber with plastic housing, very similar to the 829, the 812s, etc. They pretty much come in like that. But where these differ from a lot of the 829s and the 862s is of course the resolution on the screen. These, for example, in volts DC, you've got that mode, or you can step it up to 500,000 count measurements. So very nice. So yeah, I'm not going to go through that now. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the meter itself. Again, it's very sturdy, firm, no creaking, crunching noises when you give it a twist. You've got your connection points over here for your logging software and your logging adapter. Then you, of course, you've got your serial information at the back over here, your made in Taiwan labels, all that sort of thing, which is quite nice. This sort of clips away. As we did show you, it does sort of fold up and become a hanger if need be. I don't use hangers very often. Probably the first time I've battled to get it back under the rubber, but that could just be because it's brand new. What else can we see over here? You've got your lead holders basically in the same sturdy rubber. I must admit the previous ones, this rubber started getting very loose after a while. The previous sort of square-shaped meters. The rubber seems to stay compliant a lot longer than those for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why, but these do actually work very well. So I'm quite pleased with that. The switch again is the same Brymen, very positive feel to it, well made. Then of course you've got your select, your backlight, your range DBM, your delta, your 500,000 count, hold, high, recording function, which is more used as far as I'm aware. Well, it'll record a min-max setting, but I think it's also quite useful for other things. You've got your crest setting. The jack plugs are the usual sort of Brymen quality jacks. They're not terrible, but not the best that I've seen, but in all they're going to get the job done, obviously. Then at the bottom over here you can see this is HBC fused. This is Cat 4 between the volts, capacitance and ohms jack in common. This is Cat 4 1000 volts. And obviously these jacks over here are not quite the same Cat rating, but this is more for your current measurements and stuff anyway. It does tell us that there's a jack warning over here and all that sort of niceties. So again, a very nicely made multimeter from Brymen. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a few checks on the meter and see how it performs, how it does the measurements, how quick it is, the continuity testers, etc. Basically a bit of a roundabout of the whole meter and its function set. Alright, so just as a bit of a start point, I've got this currently hooked up with a 3.3 volt voltage reference, and we can see we got 3.3006. So I'd say that's pretty accurate. Let's go to the 500,000 count and see if it makes any difference. And as you can see, we're pretty accurate on this meter. We're pretty much talking now 0.62 of a millivolt. Or we're talking now microvolts. So yeah, it's really nice in that sense. On a traditional meter you would get 3.300 volts on like a 6,000 count or 10,000 count or whatever. But this one obviously you can go to that next level for doing your measurements. So that is very impressive, very nice. I'm not going to go and measure a whole bunch of voltages because we kind of know what the outcome is going to be. I might measure some lower voltages, such as, let's just have a look see here. Okay, we got 1.2433, which is exactly minimum that this power supply can do. We can obviously vary it up or down. Right now the power supply is running around a little bit. Let's go to the maximum, 9.678. Okay, the power supply is drifting, but it's not the meter drifting, I can guarantee you. If I were to connect into the fixed voltages on this power supply, that's 5.1438. Cool. That's a bit lower than what I'm used to seeing there, but no problem at all. .399. .208, 8.3, 9.153. Okay, so yeah, that all looks good. Now we need to look a little bit at the continuity test functionality of this meter. So we're going to go to continuity mode, and then we're going to, a little bit scratchy, but definitely responsive. But yeah, it is a little bit scratchy, but otherwise no problems at all with the speed and responsiveness of the continuity tester. I'm happy with that. So let's dig a little bit further into the functionality set. Now taking a look closely at this meter over here, we can see we've got volts AC, Hertz, dBm. So if you were to go to that function, you'll see you're doing your volts AC and your frequency. You can change that to dBm with your frequency. You can change that to your AC voltage there and your frequency there, and then back to standard, okay? And you've got volts DC, AC plus DC. At the moment it's just DC, so if you select that, now you'll have your AC ripple sitting above your DC, which is quite nice for checking power supply outputs. You can of course change the modes, but yeah, that's pretty much some of it. Then the same thing with millivolts. The difference here being is now you got your frequency of your duty cycle. So this is duty cycle frequency. That's your duty cycle percentage for pulse width modulated signals and such. Then you got your millivolts AC, Hertz dBm again. Then you got your diode test functionality. Got your capacitance test functionality. Conductivity, continuity and resistance test. It's all within the meter over there. Then you got your amps, milliamps, microamps. And of course AC frequencies, DC or AC pretty much on there. And obviously you change your jacks for the different functions. Now, what makes this meter stand out from its brethren, such as the previous, let's just take an 812 for example, and on DC mode. Now, you're straight away seeing a massive difference in resolution over here. Now, let's just go back to the same mode. Here we go. And as you can see, the resolution is the difference. I mean, this guy over here will go right down. This one over here can't resolve down to that level. So that's just something to keep in mind, and something that makes this 867 a fantastic meter. This is available on AC as well. One thing I am noticing, but it might just be because of the screen protector on this one over here, is that the screen is a lot crisper on the 829. Just having a look here. No, they actually look kind of like the same in real life, but obviously in the video, maybe because of the screen protector, this one doesn't look as crisp. Something else you'll notice, especially on the volts DC, is on this meter over here, your bar graph on the bottom is 0 to 10 volts, and on this one it's 0 to 5 volts, which gives it a little bit more resolution, I would say, on the auto ranging modes. It could just be where the auto rangings are set, but yeah, it means a little bit more resolution basically. Now, let's talk a little bit about the functionality of this 867, what it can measure, what it can't measure, and what sort of ranges are within its parameters. Hey everybody. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look and see how this meter measures the various, the usual sort of test components that I do, the diode test, etc. How the display works. Look, it's not much different from the TBM812. The biggest difference being that it does have much higher resolution, which makes it a lot easier for capturing more detail, or measuring more detail I should say. And of course it is Brymen, so the build quality is superb. There's a lot of nice little things about these meters. I'd like to take you a little bit closer to have a look at the screen, so let's just see how close we can get here without it going nuts. And then we're going to power up. And you can see the amount of information that you actually have on the screen. You've got your analog bar graph at the bottom. Let's just go to volts DC. That's your straight voltage DC without AC ripple, and you can see the little bar graph at the bottom. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to see if I'm right about that 5 volt switching point by going onto a power supply and seeing where it switches over to the higher voltage. So let's take a look-see. Right, so we got that resolution all the way up. As soon as we hit 5 volts, it should get about 5.2 volts it switches, but then you can go to quite a deep resolution again, basically to 100 microvolts resolution, or they're about 0.1 millivolts resolution on a standard volt scale. So as you can see, at 5 volts it switches, but the analog bar graph is then measuring to 50. So the 5 at the bottom over here would basically now mean that it's 50 volts, because we're just over 5 volts, so we're just over 5 on the sliding scale over there. So we'll go up just before 9, there you go. So yeah, you get the idea of it. So below 5 volts this thing is amazing. It's an absolutely ridiculous piece of equipment with a lot of resolution. Is the resolution useful? Yes, it probably is, but time will tell. Of course, you can also check your AC ripple. just to see if you do have any ripple AC voltage over here on your power supply. Like it's telling me now that we have around, well, let it settle, but well, this power supply doesn't really have much ripple because of the capacitor, but it's currently showing around 6.5 millivolts AC ripple, but I think it's actually less than that, just to give you an idea. I just wanted to show you guys what the screen looks up nice and close on the screen, what it looks like on the video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can see, like I said, very nice. One thing I do notice when you do use the dual screen, the refresh rate does drop, so the meter does update a bit slower, but that's to be expected if it's having to display multiple values or whatever the case may be. But again, Toptronic Brymen Titan, fantastic multimeter, worth every cent out there in the market. It works beautifully, and I just want to say thanks for making yet another fantastic meter, and thanks to Element Titan for supplying me with this meter. It's actually really cool. So yeah, onto those tests. I'm going to get out the components and we're going to start testing them. First one in question, my little 10 ohm resistor that I'm always measuring, and we know it's 10.2, and as you can see there, the value looks fantastically accurate, so happy days. 10.19 measuring over here. I just want to see if this resolution goes onto this. No, it's just for the voltage. So 500,000 count is for voltage, 50,000 count is standard. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So onto a diode. Let's just grab a diode out here. Let's see if I can find one in my maze of components. Should be a couple here. So we're going to go on the non-conductive way first. We should get nothing. We have nothing. We go the other way. And we should get our 0.5, 0.7. Okay. Happy days. It's running a little bit, I'm not sure why. Where it will settle, nobody knows. But okay, it gives you an idea of what it should be. Took a little bit of time though. And something else I'm just interested to see is if this meter will actually light an LED. i.e., does it have enough current? No, it won't light the LED, but it will tell me what the LED's forward voltage is, so that's quite cool. Very, very clever. I'll just try one smaller LED and just see if my observation on that was correct or not. Because it might light a very small LED, I don't know. Some of the fluke meters do light the LEDs without much of a problem. And there we go, we have a slight light going. Don't know if you can see that down there. But we definitely have a little red light glowing. Let's see. I don't know if that's even visible on the camera, but it's definitely happening here. So yeah, it can light a small LED. Fantastic. As you know, not many meters can actually do that successfully, which is quite a cool thing to know about. And of course we've got our capacitance test. I'm not going to go and test a half a dozen different capacitor values. I'm just going to throw one or two on here to see how long it takes to do the measurement of the capacitor. Known good one. This is a 4700 microfarad. Hold our thumbs. And that looks a little bit more usable. We should expect around 4.7 millifarads, and this is showing 4.313 millifarads. So close enough. I would hazard a guess that this capacitor is alright, but it is quite a big boy. So yeah, smaller capacitor values won't be much of a problem for the meter. It will definitely do them. And then of course pulse width modulated signals. I don't have the setup for it right now, otherwise I would do those for you. Also should not be a problem at all. So yeah guys, thanks for watching this brief review of the TBM867 digital multimeter, the Brymen. And if you have any questions about the meter, let us know, and I will be sure to follow up with answers in the comments below. So just to get on and finish this review up over here, we're just taking a look at the Brymen website over here for the professional digital multimeter, the TBM867, and we're going to go through some of the information about it. So here we have it open on the brymen.co.za website. Features: USB interface, 500,000 count display, backlight, crest mode, duty cycle, data hold, the fantastic dual display which I showed you guys, the probe input warning, auto ranging. Okay, this is the space materials and stuff like that on the device. There's not a lot of information over here. It's basic sort of information about the meter. Let's just see if their catalog shows anything more useful. Give that a couple seconds to load up. And TBM867. Okay, so we got AC/DC voltage, 500 millivolts, 5 volts, 50 volts, 500 volts, and 1000 volts on the ranges. Then AC/DC current, 500 microamps, 5000 microamps, 50 milli, 500 milli, 5 and 10 amps. Resistance, we got 500 ohms, 5 kilo ohms, 50 kilo ohms, 500 kilo ohms, 5 mega ohms, up to 50 mega ohms. Frequency for the line is from 10 hertz to 3 kilohertz, so that's the AC frequency when you're doing AC measurements. And then the logic level, you've got from 5 hertz to 1 megahertz, that's your pulse width modulated signals, etc. It says it'll do capacitance from 50, I can't really see that, 50 nanofarads probably, 500 nanofarads, 5 microfarads, 500 microfarads, 25 millifarads being 25,000 microfarad. Then you've got diodes to 2 volts, which is nice for testing LEDs like I showed you. DC voltage is 0.02% plus 2 digit basic accuracy. AC voltage is 1.2%, quite a bit more out, but okay, no problem. And you've got the current accuracy, 0.15% plus 20 digits, 0.5% plus 50 digits at 500 microamps. AC current is 0.5% plus 50. Resistance 0.07% plus 10. Frequency is 0.002% plus 4. Capacitance is 0.8% plus 3. Diode is 1% plus 1. And they show here optional USB cable and software. It's quite a decent unit. It's powered by a 9-volt battery, 5 4/5 digits, so 500,000 count digital multimeter. Definitely worthwhile getting. Now the difference between the TBM867 and the 869, I'm not too sure what the actual difference is, but as far as I know, the 869 can do temperature, the 867 can't. As far as this one, it's showing you 100 kilohertz bandwidth on the 869. That 100 kilohertz is probably frequency, so a little bit more bandwidth maybe if it is that. Let's just see what they show you on the spec. No, it's showing the same spec. So okay, they both got that bandwidth, they both got the same display, so basically I'm thinking the biggest difference is the temperature probe. Not much else. The accuracy looks about the same, everything else looks about the same. So yeah, there you have it guys. Just a brief look at the TBM867. Do I recommend the meter? Yes, most definitely I do. I think it's a fantastic meter for the money, and I'd highly recommend it for anybody looking for a professional multimeter with a lot of display or a lot of resolution. So yeah, that's it. That concludes this brief review. Thanks for watching everybody, and keep watching because we will be releasing a lot more videos over the next couple of weeks. We've been quiet on the releases for a while now because we've been creating content, so now we're slowly rolling the content out. Cheers for now.